Hey there, lovely people. Welcome back to another Writing Tip Tuesday. I'm Sammy, and I'm a writer who likes to help other writers learn more about writing and become better writers. So this week, I want to talk to you about developing your magic system. If you learned something from this video, I would really appreciate it if you would leave a like down below. It'll really help me out and show YouTube that more people may learn something from this video as well. So let's talk about your magic system. There are so many options for what you can do with magic in your world. You are in charge of all of it. But there are some literary rules that give your readers the best experience possible of the magic. One of the ones that I want to focus on is a quote from Brandon Sanderson that I am going to paraphrase because I didn't write it down as a quote. That quote is, "An author's ability to solve conflict with magic is directly proportional to how well the readers understand the magic." So if you want to write your magic system in a way that your hero is going to be a magic user and they're going to fight the bad guys with the magic, your readers are going to have to understand that magic. But if you don't want your readers to understand the magic, you can't use that magic to solve the problems. Otherwise, like Timothy Hickson, otherwise known as Hello Future Me here on YouTube, says, it'll feel like, quote, a wizard did it. You don't want your readers to feel like a wizard did it because it takes away from the power of whatever your story is actually telling. So a lot of my information is going to be coming from Timothy Hickson's first book, On Writing and Worldbuilding, Volume 1. And it's a very great book to learn from. If you learn more from reading than you do from watching videos, which you probably don't if you're here, it goes into a lot more detail than his videos do, and he has a lot more room to explore different examples that maybe if you don't relate to the ones that he talks about in his videos, you've got a lot more dense options in here, and it is so great to read. When building a magic system, there are two main ends of the spectrum for what type of magic system you can create. There are hard magic systems on one end and soft magic systems on the other. They both have benefits to each of them, and they have guidelines that you should follow to help your readers be able to dive into that magic system a little bit easier. And because it is on a spectrum, you can take aspects from either side and blend them together to make the magic system that is best for your story. So I'm going to start with the hard magic system because that's a little bit more complicated and there are a couple more rules. So we're just going to go into what it is. So to start off, I'll give you a couple of examples. Mistborn is a great example of a very, very hard magic system. There is no softness to it at all, really. It all has very distinct rules and you understand how it works completely. And then Avatar: The Last Airbender is a hard leaning magic system. There are some aspects of it that are soft magic where they have a little bit more leeway to it, but a lot of it is easily understood and the magic is clear and you know how it works. The main thing that makes a hard magic system is that your readers understand the magic. You know how it works, what to expect. There is so much consistency and predictability. Those are the main factors of what makes a hard magic system. Consistency, meaning anyone who uses the magic pretty much uses it the same way. They have the same outcomes every time they use the magic, the same particular way. Everything is the same and you can predict how it's going to work. For example, in Mistborn, people who burn pewter all have the same reaction to burning pewter. Mistborns who burn pewter have the same reaction to burning pewter. So that gives your readers the opportunity to know, oh, they're burning pewter. I know what's going to come from that. And then predictability, that's where your reader knows what's going to come from that magic user burning pewter. Predictability and consistency are the most important factors if you want to have a hard magic system. Those are the things that make it a hard magic system. You have to have consistency and predictability because if you don't have those two things, your readers will get lost and you can't use the magic in the same way that you could if you had those two things. Some other aspects that a hard magic system may also have are limitations. Brandon Sanderson says that limitations are more important than the power itself. What can stop the power? What can't the power do? How far can that power reach? Those are the things that become more interesting than what the power can do while you're developing it and help create that hard magic system as well. Not all hard magic systems need to have limitations as long as they have consistency and predictability. Hard magic systems can also have weaknesses. What causes the power to lapse? Is there another power that directly counteracts your magic? Is there a plant that your magic user can't be by because they have an allergic reaction that takes away their powers? Is there a rock that is from their home planet that will make them sick if they are near it? I'm trying to say kryptonite. Another thing that a hard magic system can have is a cost. What does it cost to use the power? Do you physically drain your body? Do you have to have the specific metal to burn? Do you use your internal chi power and the strength of your soul powers the magic? Do you have to have ingredients for a spell? What do you have to put forth to be able to use your magic? That is another aspect. Now, to reiterate, you only need to have consistency and predictability with a hard magic system. Those are the most important aspects of a hard magic system. And then the rest of it are just bonuses. You don't necessarily need to have any of those limitations, but they do make it more interesting. So I would say add some, but you don't need all of them. You can have one, or you can have just predictability and consistency. There's a lot of leeway there. You don't have to think of a hard magic system as one way and done. You have so much creative space for that as well. So then in contrast, what is a soft magic system? Some examples of a soft magic system would be the Chronicles of Narnia, very, very soft magic system. And then Harry Potter is a soft leaning magic system with some aspects of a hard magic system mixed in the pot there. So in a soft magic system, the reader is not supposed to understand the magic. They don't understand it. It's this outer lying force that just sort of happens and it affects the story in the way that it does. Now, drawing back to that initial quote, you cannot use a soft magic to solve conflict. The tension cannot be resolved through soft magic because your reader does not understand it. However, you can use soft magic to create conflict. This is a good time to have an antagonist with a magical power causing that problem, like Voldemort or the Ice Queen, Snow Queen in the Chronicles of Narnia. And they have that outer lying force of magic that the protagonists have to solve without magic because they don't understand it. In a soft magic system, your narrator matters a lot more than it does in a hard magic system. Your narrator needs to have the same level of understanding as your readers do. So if your narrator understands the magic more than your readers do, they're gonna feel like they're being left behind. So you have the option to have a non-magic user, like in the Chronicles of Narnia, we're following the kids who do not have magic. They just went through a wardrobe and now everything's crazy. So we have that where they don't know what the magic is, they don't know how the magic works, and neither do the readers, so we feel fine. Then in Harry Potter, you have a magic user who's not confident in their magic. They are learning how to use the magic. They don't understand it just yet. And as they learn more, so do the readers. That doesn't make it a hard magic system because they are explaining things to us, but it does give it more of those harder aspects where we can understand a little bit more as the narrator understands more. Your narrator needs to be at the same level of understanding as your readers are. When you want a magic system for your story, in my opinion, there are 4 steps. The first one is to decide where on the spectrum you feel like your magic system will lean more. Do you feel like you have a harder leaning magic system? Are your protagonists going to be magic users who are solving problems and fighting the bad guys with their magic? Is your magic going to be something that is causing the problems? Is the bad guy the one with magic? Are you having some sort of a hero's journey story where a regular person just finds out that there is a magical world and then they go and solve problems in the magical world against a magical villain? Where on that spectrum is your story landing? Figure that out. That's step 1. And step 2, work out the bugs. How does the magic work? Who uses the magic? How does the magic affect the world? Answer those questions, fill in your world building, your characters, figure out how that magic affects everyone. Step 3 is going to be to stylize it. What does your magic look like? What makes it special? What makes it different from other magic systems that are already out there? Do your characters use wands? Is there a skin tone change when you use your magic? Do you sparkle in the sunlight? What does your magic system look like? And then step 4 is to go play with your magic system. You've got a whole world of possibilities to use this magic in your story. How is it going to affect your characters? How do your characters interact with it? Go play with the magic. This is the only way, aside from sleight of hand, that you can go play with magic. Have a great time with it and work out the bugs as you go. A magic system is never going to be perfect until you start putting your characters into it and playing around with the story and seeing how that magic needs to affect the plot and your characters motivations, and how does that affect them directly, because you're never going to be able to figure it out entirely before getting into the story. And if you do, I'm very impressed, and I would love it if you leave a comment down below to tell me how you did that and how that worked out, because I did not think it was possible, and since you did it, talk to me. Give yourself room to play around, room to make errors. You're not gonna make it perfect on the first try. Have a great time with it. Magic is fun, and it shouldn't be stressful, and you should be able to just mess around with it and see how it will work best for your story. If it comes to you naturally, good for you. If you need to do a little bit more work like I do, that's fine too. Writing is what you make it. And your magic system is going to be as good as you want it to be, or as evil as you want it to be, or whatever, and it's going to work perfectly eventually. But that's all I have for you today on magic systems. So if you like this video, please leave a like. It'll really help me out. I would love to see you in your notifications bar. So if you want to hit that subscribe button and the notifications bell right beside it, that would be great. And I'll see you in your notifications on Saturday for a story study, and again on Tuesday for another writing tip Tuesday.